And we think that's a distinguishing feature to highlight. I was interested earlier listening to Evelyn Whitlock's of the ECB talk about different ways that the digital euro will be accessible in the Eurozone. I think she mentioned 3 different ways. One was through an ECB-issued wallet. One would be through a bank-issued wallet. And then the third was sort of on a card concept. And when I heard that, I internalized the complexity of that ecosystem and what will be required. And that's what we think about at Ripple. We think about a CBDC as a full ecosystem that encompasses different instruments, different actors, and ultimately different use cases. So when we think about different instruments, yes, we're talking about central bank digital currency. We're also talking about private money. We're talking about stablecoin, tokenized deposit. We might be talking about native cryptocurrencies. All of these things we anticipate coexisting in some fashion in a mature marketplace, subject to regulatory frameworks that allow for them to interoperate along different corridors. But we're building for that. We're building for that future. Different actors. We have direct participants that will hold accounts at the central bank. We have indirect banks that might access CBDC through those other commercial banks with central banking accounts. We anticipate non-bank financial institutions having access to CBDC in some capacity. Developers building applications on top of CBDC platforms subject to the controls of a central bank. And then ultimately merchants and end users, people transacting at the counter, having wallets and being able to spend CBDC and receive CBDC. That's a mature ecosystem, and that is there's a lot of actors in that ecosystem, and we think that is the direction of travel that we're on. The primary use cases that we see and envision that are really foundational to making that work, I think of 3 of them. One is domestic retail payments as a replacement for cash. Another one is cross-border payments, which we have a lengthy history in. And then finally, interbank wholesale settlement. Obviously, there are a ton of use cases, many of which we wouldn't even contemplate today. But we're building with that foundation, and we think those 3 use cases are going to be, at least in the early beginnings of adoption, very important.